Welcome to an introductory video on Microsoft Dynamics NAV 2013. My name is Tom Lawrence, and over the next 7 to 10 minutes I'm going to walk you through the user interface in NAV 2013. It's a pretty high-level video. We're not going to dive into any area of functionality too deep, so it's really appropriate for any user. So let's just start with what we're seeing here. This is the role center. This is what a typical user would see when they first log in the morning. Microsoft ships the product with about 10 different roles. This happens to be the role for bookkeeper. So those tasks that a bookkeeper might need are organized here, and only those tasks. So unlike the legacy system where you have everything on the menu, you have to hunt for it. Role center approach is designed around how the user needs to work to be efficient. So this is the bookkeeper role. It's a pretty well-rounded role. I thought I'd use this to start with. Let's just walk through the different areas here of the screen. Right here we have what's called an address bar. So like a browser, we can see where we are. Currently we're at the home page. If I was in the chart of accounts, you'd see that it's changed to the chart of accounts. I can click in here and see the exact path there. It's nice because then you can browse back to where you were before, and it also keeps a browsing history or breadcrumbs. You can jump to a particular area that you were at earlier. Just one way to navigate through the system. Like I said, the role center is designed to put all the things on it that you would need to do your job, a particular user would need. But if there's something that's not readily available or readily seen, not sure quite where it is, you can use the search functionality to find it. So for instance, currencies is not right here on this page, so if I wanted to find currencies, I just start typing and it gives me a list of everything that's got currency in the name. Then I can easily jump down to it and without having to hunt through the system for it. And I can easily jump back to the home page. I just used a keyboard shortcut to do that. Most of the functions you find in here can be activated using a keyboard shortcut. So if you're used to keeping your head down and not having to refer to your mouse or reach for your mouse, you'd be happy to know that the keyboard shortcuts are pretty pervasive throughout the system. Shift F12 brought me back to the role center. From wherever I am, I can always come back to the home that way. We have a ribbon that's much like the ribbon you find in the Microsoft Office products, Office 2007 and later. So in the ribbon, the tasks that you would perform at whatever level you happen to be on. So here at the role center, these tasks relate to the general role center, so we can create a new sales invoice or purchase invoice. If we were in another location, for instance customers, you can see that the ribbon changes. So now it relates to the customer page that I'm on. And then we have tabs within the ribbon. And this can all be customized or personalized by the user. So items that don't need to be on here can be removed. I just right click, I can customize the ribbon, and I can pick and choose what things are on here and what things aren't. Here's the items that are currently on the ribbon, and here's the items that are available to put on the ribbon. So I can just move things over as I see fit. The navigation pane is here on the left. These are all your list pages. So we have the customers, vendors, pretty much any list of documents or records would be found here. And then they can be organized in these buttons. These are just groupings. Again, this can all be customized by the user. You can add additional groupings here and organize their functions in groups. If they have a lot of them, it might make sense to add a few more groups. Here we have posted documents. So all the posted documents that this bookkeeper might need are all right under that posted document folder. So it's just another way of organizing. These buttons are just another way of organizing the tasks that are in your navigation pane. Now I'm going to hit Shift F12 and get right back to the role center. Activities. This section here is what do I need to deal with right now? What's due? What's hot? What am I currently working on? So you would put tasks in here. that are relevant to the role. And like I said, this is the bookkeeper role, so we've got purchase invoices that are due today. Now these are queues. It's actually a list behind that role, behind that queue. So you can see that there's a 19 here. That represents 19 invoices that are due today, and that's obviously dynamic. It changes as the date changes and more invoices become due, or after invoices are paid. I can always drill down and see a list of those invoices if I want to. Alright, let's go back to the Role Center. So that's just a nice visual representation of what needs to be dealt with today. We have integration with other Office products, and Outlook is built right into the system. So I would not have to necessarily get out of NAV to check my email or look at my calendar or check my tasks. It's all here as part of the Role Center. We have list pages, or excuse me, my lists. So here in this my customers, this is where you could just maintain a list of your customers, the ones that maybe you're dividing up the customers for members of this Role Center bookkeeper. You have 2 or 3 people that are assigned this role. Each person can have their list of customers that they work with. The same with vendors or items. You can just maintain a list so that you're not having to search through the entire list of customers. You can come over here quickly to your list of customers. And the same with vendors. I have a graph here, and this is all customizable. I'll show you how we can customize the whole page and include these different parts. These are all interchangeable parts, or at least these are. This graph, the My Customers here, the Outlook, they can be moved around. We also have notifications. Notifications are a way to send a message or a memo to somebody inside the organization that relates to a particular document. So let's say we have it's a document or a record. So let's say we have a customer we have a question about, or a vendor that we have a question about, or an invoice we have a question about. We can create a document or a memo or a notification and send it to somebody, and then it'll show up down here in their notification window, and all they have to do is click on it. Here we have a notification about a GL account that's over budget. I just double click on it and it brings up that GL account. Down at the bottom we can see the status bar. It tells us what company we're currently working in. The list of companies here by clicking on it, and I can see that I have several. If I'm moving in and out of companies, it's fairly easy to change companies that way. The work date tells us obviously what date we're working in the system. So these queues are based on this particular date, and all our documents that we would enter would be based on this particular date, as well as posting. This would be the posting date as we posted documents. Typically this defaults to today's date, but I'm working with demo data here, so I've got it out into the future. And then the user that's logged in. That's just my system's name and my network user login. So as I mentioned, this can be customized. If I look up here, I can bring up the customize window. I can customize the ribbon as I showed you before. I can customize the navigation pane, which I showed you before. I can just right click on those areas. But this entire page can be customized. So if I wanted to get rid of the graph, I could just remove that or customize it. Let me just go ahead and remove it, make it a little more room. Then I want to bring over the Connect Online, let's say, and click OK. And see now the chart's gone. We have a little user group community here, so we could actually search for information about system-related things out there on the web, interact with other users of NAV 2013. But the idea there is just that you can customize this page to meet your needs. If you don't want to have that kind of stuff on here, you can remove it and make it very simple. Maybe you want to have the vendors on here. So my vendors is very similar to, well, it's the same as my customers. It just allows you to create a list of your vendors that you're working with. So that's kind of a high-level overview of the interface here in NAV 2013.